Why don't you drive a regular car? Regular cars are for regular people. I'm not normal. I agree with that. Hello, off-road enthusiasts. Let's talk about the Pajero TR4, the little Pajero, shall we? Before SUVs got squeamish about mud, being synonymous with off-road capability in 4x4 was a badge of honor. The Mitsubishi Pajero TR4 is a good and more affordable embodiment of that era. Sold until the 2015 model year, this Japanese compact SUV was, for a long time, the gateway to SUVs before the Ford EcoSport introduced the whole urban adventurer concept. But for those who take pride in being true off-road enthusiasts, unconcerned about the sacrifices in comfort and maintenance that it entails, the Pajerinho, little Pajero, is a solid choice in the used car market. The vehicle boasts sturdy construction, good ground clearance to tackle the urban jungle, and off-road capabilities that allow for some weekend SUV fun. Now, let's explore 10 facts about the Mitsubishi Pajero TR4 up to 2015. 1. Why the nickname Pajerinho? In 1999, Mitsubishi started importing the Pajero IO, the smallest in the family, to Brazil. Originally launched with a 1.816V engine producing 117 horsepower, 4 years later, it became localized. Under the hands of the Souza Ramos Group, currently HPE Motors, which holds the license to sell and manufacture Japanese cars here, the model became the TR4, assembled in Cataleo, Go, and gained a 2.016V engine. 2. The journey of the Mitsubishi Pajero TR4. Launched in 2003 and sold until the 2015 model year, the Mitsubishi Pajero TR4 retained the main characteristics of the IO, except for the mechanical assembly. Over more than a decade, it changed very little and had a limited range of versions. In 2005, it gained a factory armored option, along with a variant featuring a larger fuel tank of 91 liters, appropriately named Long Range for improved autonomy. The first alteration occurred in 2006, with a facelift that redesigned headlights and taillights. The same 2.0 engine became Flex in the following year. This engine saw an increase in power in 2009, following another restyling. In 2011, the Mitsubishi Pajero TR4 was one of the few compact SUVs with 4x4. However, amid market trends, it eventually introduced a version with rear-wheel drive. In 2014, it bid farewell as the 2015 model, but not before having a limited edition O'Neill series, a collaboration with the Californian clothing brand, celebrating 3 decades of the Pajero line worldwide. 3. With Pininfarina's signature and Brazilian touch. The design of the Pajero IO, which birthed our TR4, was signed by the renowned Italian studio Pininfarina. In some markets, the SUV was even called Pajero Pinin. Regardless, the 2 updates to the 4X4's design were done by a Brazilian team. Both the 2006 and 2009 restyles were the creations of MMC Automotors, another name for the current HPE, and required approval from the Japanese headquarters. The latter was the most significant overhaul. In addition to headlights and rear windows, the Brazilian Mitsubishi team changed almost all external panels of the Pajero TR4. Notable are the rear lights and air vents, clearly inspired by the Land Rover Freelander of that time. Inside, the Mitsubishi Pajero TR4 featured a new steering wheel and instrument panel with blue lighting. 4. How does the valiant little SUV perform? The Mitsubishi Pajero TR4 is an eager little tractor. Despite being a heavy SUV, over 1,300 kilograms, since the beginning of its national version, the 2.016V engine with 131 horsepower and 18 kgfm delivered an interesting performance, especially with the 5-speed manual gearbox, with shorter first-gear ratios to favor acceleration. But don't mistake it for a sports car. To give you an idea, tests from that time indicated an acceleration to 100 km per hour in over 13 seconds. With the adoption of flex technology, things improved a bit, and power with ethanol reaches 133 horsepower and maximum torque at 19 kgfm. In the 2009 restyling, Mitsubishi fitted larger pistons and increased the compression ratio from 9.5 to 1 to 11.0 to 1 of the 2.0 engine. Power reached 140 horsepower E/135 hp-G with torque of 22 kgfm E/20 kgfm-G. Once again, the tuning prioritizes acceleration without any proposal for high performance. 5. Ready for mud challenges. After all, the Pajerinho is all about being strong off-road. In these situations, the SUV proves its worth. It starts with the permanent four-wheel drive system, with a central differential and 4 operating modes: rear-wheel drive, 4x4, 4x4 with lock, and reduced. Additionally, the Mitsubishi Pajero TR4 has more than 21 centimeters of ground clearance and a significantly high floor. Both the approach and departure angles are 35 degrees. The model even promises the ability to cross sections with up to 60 centimeters of water. Just pay attention to the tires. In 2009, they switched to 225/65 or 17, with a lower profile than the previous 225/70 or 16, and also more expensive. 6. Fuel consumption is the TR4's weak point. If you notice, no TR4 comes with a dashboard computer. Maybe out of embarrassment. All this off-road enthusiasm comes at a price in terms of fuel consumption. The early Pajeros sold in Brazil had urban averages with gasoline below 7 km per liter in the city and just over 9 km per liter on the highway, with a manual gearbox. After the adoption of flex and an increase in the compression ratio, evaluations at the time showed an improvement with gasoline. But the averages with ethanol are alarming: 5 km per liter in urban cycles and 6.5 km per liter on the highway. Once again, these numbers are for a 5-speed manual gearbox. 7. Comfort is not the little SUV's strong suit. Comfort is compromised precisely because of the Pajero TR4's off-road nature. With its robust rigid rear suspension, it's the kind of SUV that bounces well on the asphalt. Furthermore, the elevated floor forces passengers to keep their knees highly articulated and raised. The rear seat space is limited for legs and accommodates only 2 average-sized adults. The small rear door gaps and their limited opening also make access difficult. The trunk, with its 312 liters, is better than the EcoSport's, for example. Additionally, the sound insulation is well resolved, and the elevated driving position pleases in terms of visibility and ergonomics. The interior finish follows the standard of an off-road vehicle, without frills and practical for cleaning. Just don't expect a revolutionary design. Even in the 2015 lineup, the Mitsubishi Pajero TR4 seemed to have stopped in time and features a dashboard with a 1990s. 8. My recommendation: Mitsubishi Pajero TR4 2015. I recommend the Pajero TR4 in the 2015 lineup, manufactured in 2014, the last year of the Mitsubishi SUV. On major vehicle buying and selling websites, the option with 4x4 traction and a 4-speed automatic gearbox is priced between 72,000 Brazilian reals and 84,000 Brazilian reals. The equipment list is quite limited. It includes disc brakes on all 4 wheels and the obligatory ABS and EBD, along with dual front airbags. The package is completed with air conditioning, power steering, power windows, driver's seat and steering wheel with height adjustments, as well as a sound system with USB input and Bluetooth connectivity. 9. Prices of parts and maintenance for the SUV. Mitsubishi cars generally have high maintenance costs. Since the Pajerinho was the most popular of the brand, the parts are somewhat more affordable and easier to find. But don't expect a light hit on your wallet. Check out the prices of some parts for the Mitsubishi Pajero TR4 2015. Front brake pad set, from 130 Brazilian reals to 190 Brazilian reals. Kit with 4 spark plugs, from 300 Brazilian reals to 400 Brazilian reals. Oil kit, for liters 10W40 plus filter from 240 Brazilian reals to 400 Brazilian reals. Fuel pump, from 400 Brazilian reals to 650 Brazilian reals. Rear shock absorber set, from 490 Brazilian reals to 560 Brazilian reals. Front headlight, from 500 Brazilian reals to 800 Brazilian reals. Rear bumper, from 600 Brazilian reals to 1,100 Brazilian reals. 10 main issues with the Mitsubishi Pajero TR4. The early Mitsubishi Pajero TR4S had a chronic problem of water infiltration into the cabin, something unforgivable for a model with off-road aspirations. According to SUV owners on internet forums and social media, the blame was on the sealing rubber. The Pajerinho also has common complaints regarding premature oxidation of the exhaust system and leaks in the transfer case, central differential, and gearbox. Like any 4x4, it's good to inspect the underside of the Mitsubishi Pajero TR4, even in the 2015 model, and be alert to dents and signs of scrapes, which may indicate rough handling on a trail. Additionally, on cobblestone and dirt roads, engage the traction modes and pay attention to clicks when turning the steering wheel or passing over irregularities. In 2015, Mitsubishi launched the Pajero Dakar with the option of 7 seats.